I have two books that I want to talk about. One is Drawing from Your Imagination, and the other one is Image Memory. So this one's called How to Draw, Drawing and Sketching Objects and Environments from Your Imagination by Scott Robertson with Thomas Berntling. Whoa. And then Memory Drawing, Perceptual Training, and Recall by Darren Rouser. So what prompted me really wanting to go through these two books is that last weekend or a weekend or two ago, my friend Michael came over, and he is one of those people that can draw anything from his head. It's something that I'm super jealous of. And I've been writing and making up this story, and so when he came over, I was telling him a little bit about it, and then he just pulled out his sketchbook and started sketching these buildings that I was talking about, and it just blew my mind. I think that's so cool when people can draw from their heads, and especially architecture or anything with complex perspectives. I think when people can do that, I think that's just really impressive. And I want to be able to do that, and I really can't. I mean, I can draw things from my head, but they're not super convincing, and especially when it comes to architecture, I think understanding perspective or not understanding perspective that well is really limiting me that way. And I really want to try and knock down all my limits and kind of just learn everything that I can so I can be able to paint whatever image I want to paint, no matter what. So Michael has lent me this book, and I've had it for months, and I've really only gone through the first few pages in it. But I'm really committing myself now because I really want to learn this stuff. So I was looking through the book, and it looks like a lot of it is on perspective, drawing architecture, and also other like man-made constructions. Okay, so I'm in chapter 3 right now, so I'm just kind of copying these things. Here's my sketchbook, which is really the first thing that I've done. These are Vanderpools on this side. But so I'm really just kind of just like slowly jumping into it. But I'm really excited about it. So I feel like I have a really base understanding of perspective, but then when it gets into more complicated things, I get really lost. So I think this is going to be really helpful for me. And so I was also researching different ways that could help really drawing from your imagination, and something that came up was image memory and how that can really help. Matt has talked about image memory a lot. I haven't really done too much practicing with it though. So I looked online and I found this book, and it looks like this book, they take a lot of different techniques that they used from the past for learning image memory and kind of all compiled it into this. So this looks like it should be pretty good. So I read through the first part of this, and a lot of it's just on the history of memory training and that type of thing, but I finally just got to doing the exercises. So I haven't done any yet, but I'm about to, and I'm really excited to do this. Not so much excited to do the exercises in it, but just kind of to get the effect of doing them afterwards, because I read, so these are the first types of exercises. So you will look at this for 3 minutes, and then you put it away, and then you copy it, so you're trying to get the lines, and I think the distance as well. Perfect. So the exercises, they do seem pretty tedious because you're just copying lines and shapes and angles, and it builds up into more complicated things, but I think it's going to be one of those things, kind of like, I didn't find doing bargs really that fun, but it's exciting to see the benefits that you're getting from that. So I think this is going to kind of be the same thing. I'm just going to have to push myself to do it. Though if you do end up getting this book, I do have one critique about it so far that I've noticed, is that the pages are so thin in it that you can see the words or the diagrams even a few pages back. So for example, here's a shape that you're supposed to copy, and I don't know if you can see, but you can see the swirl diagram is on the opposite side of the page, and even a page back from that is this line drawing. So I think that's kind of distracting a bit, so I kind of wish the pages were thicker, but other than that, it seems pretty good. And then the last thing that I wanted to talk to that kind of relates to these two topics is practice versus purposeful practicing. And I ran across this podcast from The Art of Manliness, which I'm not a man, but I love that website. I love that the content that they have on their website. But I found this through the Facebook group, the Atelier Movement. They linked to the podcast called Peak, and I'll also link to this as well if you're interested in it. But it's comparing practice to purposeful practicing. And so I think the difference between those is if you are just practicing drawing, I think any drawing practice is going to make you better. I know that one of my big weaknesses, what I've been talking about this whole video, is not being able to draw from my imagination. And so I can practice what I'm good at, which is I think I'm really good at drawing from nature, being able to see it and then draw it. So I could just keep practicing that way. And I'm sure that what I'm looking at and drawing is probably imprinting in my brain. And I think it's probably making drawing from memory better, but those increments are probably like really tiny steps. Or I could do the purposeful practicing, which is following the examples and concepts that keep building off each other from these two books. And I think purposeful practicing is harder because it's focusing on your weakness. So kind of in the really short-term goal, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. Because I know when I'm gonna start doing these exercises, I'm not gonna be any good at it. And it's never fun to do something that you're not good at. So you really do have to force yourself to do this type of practicing again and again and again, even when the results are probably going to be bad for at least a little while. But I also know that if I stick with it, I'm going to get better at it. And for me at least, seeing that self-improvement I think is so fun and really exciting, which then will make it easier for me to keep practicing, and hopefully it'll be a domino effect where as I get better, I'll just want to be doing it more and more until it doesn't feel like a weakness anymore. So I think any kind of practicing can kind of like get you little steps better, but the purposeful practicing can really like give you big leaps, even though it's harder and maybe not as fun at the beginning. But I will link these two books so anyone is interested in checking them out. I'm not recommending buying them because I haven't gone through them yet, so I don't know if they're any good or not. They seem like they're good though, because I did flipping through them, they look good, but I'll probably do a separate review on the books once I actually finish them. But I'm gonna start those exercises right now.